his reaction was, "Why it's still too early?" Already in my mind, I'm like, I don't like this guy. I don't like him. That's one of the reasons I'm making this video, right? Because you would expect that they will tell you things, and for a first timer, I was just very clueless, like what am I supposed to do and all of that. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So this is like my very first sit down video since this whole journey started. This is my first sit down video in this series, so I have uploaded some videos in this series. If you are just seeing my face for the first time, please try to watch other videos so you catch up on the gist and you can be on the same page with everyone. So the day I told my husband, after I told him, we went to the hospital just to get like a proper check, do a proper blood test and all of that. And when we got to the hospital and the doctor asked, what are you here for? And I told him, and he asked me, how many days late are you? And I told him, and his reaction was, "Why it's still too early?" Something in that line. He said something in that line. And I even tried to like explain that, oh, I've already taken, a home test, and he didn't even allow me to land. He said, "Oh, we're still going to do the test." And already in my mind, I'm like, I don't like this guy. I don't like him. I don't like his energy. Because I mean, even if I'd not taken a test, it's my body. I can tell when something is wrong. I can tell when something is being so suspicious, and it's not your place to tell me that it's too early, right? It's my money I'm going to spend on the test. Anyways, looks like I'm taking it personal. So we did the test and it came out, positive. And then we wanted to see the doctor, thinking that he would, give us some do's and don'ts, some rules and regs. But no, there was nothing. We're the ones doing the asking of the questions. Are we supposed to do this? Am I supposed to go to the gym? Am I supposed to work out? Am I supposed to, do this, do all of those? So we're asking a lot of questions. So that's one of the reasons I'm making this video, right? Because you would expect that they will tell you things, and for a first timer, I was just very clueless, like what am I supposed to do and all of that. I thought it was just only me thinking that, until we got home and my husband was like, "Now wow, they didn't even like tell us what we are supposed to do and what we are not supposed to do." I said, so it's not only me that was thinking that too. I thought it was only me. And then I was watching Tomike's video, and she mentioned it in her video in one of our pregnancy series too, for our first child. And I just knew that it's like a general thing. And later on I even got to know that it's like that in some countries, even outside the country, because they would, outside Nigeria, because they would expect that it's until maybe you're 6 weeks, 8 weeks, that you can actually even come into the hospital, apart from when you've gotten the test, that you can come into the hospital and have access to like some things. So I just thought to do this video to share my experience, in case there's somebody out there too confused and all of that. So yeah, I got back home and I was just back to my normal activity, doing my normal thing. I was very active, very agile, very strong. In fact, I was not even overdoing. So the whole thing started, and for some reasons I had to be placed on that drug. So I had to be placed on that drug, and that was where the whole thing turned around for me. Because prior to that time, the only symptoms or the only things I was feeling was I was more hungry than normal. I was having some unusual cravings for things I normally would not request for, and I was getting tired easily, which was like normal thing. And I was sleeping, yeah. I was sleeping during the day, which is like very, very unlike me. So I was sleeping during the day, and I even started, those symptoms started even before I texted them. I knew that I was pregnant. It started very early on. So those were like the symptoms I was having until I started taking those drugs, and those drugs like made me sick. Not made me sick, like made me extremely tired. And there were times I would feel a lot of symptoms. I started feeling a lot of symptoms. People would say they feel morning sickness. I did not feel morning sickness, right? Mine was like evening sickness, right? It was like morning I have like a bit of energy, but once it's like evening time, oh my god, I dreaded evening. I hated evening time. I didn't want evening time to come because I'm just tired. I'm just there, useless. And I was having a lot of heartburn. And what I did that helped was that I started eating in bits, and that it was very hard for me to adjust to. For someone like me that just eats like one major meal a day, I can just eat one very big meal at once, maybe around evening time. I'm not really a breakfast person, so I can just eat like one big meal, like large quantity, and that's all for the day. And yeah, So I had to learn to eat, in bits, eat small portion. It was very hard. It's still something really hard that I'm trying to get used to, because I don't eat like a lot of times. I just eat like once or twice a day, but I eat like a lot of quantity. So it was really hard. I noticed that whenever I ate, I would have heartburn. It would, my chest would be like there's something stuck in my throat. That experience was just very crazy. So eating in bits actually really helped me. And yeah, there were times I felt like, I had a lot of spittle. I had a lot of saliva. Why did I say spittle? I had a lot of saliva in my mouth. It's not like I was spitting. I tried as much as possible not to, but it was just like I was producing more saliva than normal. And what helped was chewing gum, this Mentos chewing gum. I would just chew just to get that Mentos, flavor in my mouth. And most of the time I would literally just throw it away after I'm done, but that helped. So I was taking a lot. There was a time I had to get the sweet, so I would not have to chew gum, just take the sweet. So that, hotness, that cold, how do I describe Mentos? The taste of Mentos now actually really helped with the whole saliva ish and all of that. I wasn't throwing up. I didn't even feel like throwing up. The few times I threw up were because food was stuck in my throat and I was not comfortable. I could not sleep. I was just sitting down and it was really uncomfortable. So I had to like force myself literally to throw up so that, my throat or whatever would feel clear a little. So I did that like a couple of times until I noticed that if I don't eat early, I start to feel nauseous, which was like very crazy. I mean, when I wake up, I'm literally hungry. I wake up hungry, which is like, for someone that does not take breakfast, it took like time for me to adjust to that. So I'm like waiting it out, like thinking is my normal, self, that okay, when you're hungry, just it will go, it will pass. I don't really eat breakfast. But then after like some hours, I start feeling really sick, feeling nauseous. A couple of times, like 2 times, I actually threw up. Those were like the times I genuinely threw up. I threw up, and once I knew that, I made sure that there was always something available for me to eat. I literally just drink water and eat apple, eat banana, make sure there's fruit in the ref. So once I wake up in the morning and start feeling hungry, I drink water first, because sometimes it's thirst and not hunger. So I drink water. If I drink water and I'm still feeling it, I take some fruit, and that will actually sustain me until I'm able to get something to eat. So yeah, that's something I had to get used to. Yeah, the tiredness was just like out of this world. For me, it was like double because of the medication, because of the medication I was taking, and it was like double tiredness. I could literally do nothing. I was just, it felt like I was useless. And then it didn't take me so much time to, I wasn't hard on myself, yeah, which is something I want to just put out there. Like, your body is literally doing, you are not doing a lot externally, but internally your body is doing a lot. There's a lot your body is adjusting to. So if you're watching and you are like in that position, don't be hard on yourself, right? Just give yourself that gap. Don't stress. If there are things you're unable to do, just leave it. It's just for a phase that you soon pass. They call the second trimester the honeymoon phase, where you are stronger, you can do things. But that first trimester, you might have to not be able to do a lot of things. Don't stress yourself, don't beat yourself up, don't feel bad about it. Just do the little you can and rest, and just allow your body do its thing, right? Which is something I had to do, because then I had like courses to take, I had things planned, and at the point I had to just give myself some kind of pep talk, like, blessing, you are doing a lot. Even if it looks like you are doing nothing and you're doing a lot, your body is doing a lot. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up and all of that. So there are lots of things you cannot control. There's little you can control. So leave the things that are beyond your control and focus on the little you can control, right? Which is something I did, and I'm really, really proud of myself that I embraced that stage. I embraced that phase. I didn't try to fight it. I didn't try to like be strong at all points. I just wanted to be fine and be healthy for my baby, be strong for my baby, and all of that. So yeah, I just thought to put that in there. So basically, for first trimester, you don't get to go to the hospital a lot. So after you have found out you're pregnant, the very first test you do The very first time you get to do your ultrasound is like at 8 weeks. Usually at 8 weeks, that's when you get to hear the baby heartbeat, and that's where they tell if the pregnancy is viable or not. And that's where you know that, okay, this is real. This is actually real. So that's like the first time you get to do your ultrasound. Then later on at like 14 weeks ish, or 13 14 weeks, towards the end of the first trimester, you can have your test where they check, you do some blood tests, they check the baby, measure the diameter, measure the circumference, measure everything, just to know that everything is fine with the baby. So those should be like the two major times you get to do ultrasound and get to do like proper tests. In my hospital where I use, it was at the end of first trimester. I was asked to come and register for ANC, that's an antenatal care, at the end of the first trimester. So that was when I went to register for that. Yeah, that's basically my experience. It looks like it was very simple, it looks like it was very easy, but to the glory of God, the strength of the Lord carried me through. But then what I just said, it's just like 3 months just like that. But then it was I'm really grateful for my husband. Like, he took on a lot in this house, because I could literally do nothing. I was just eating, feeding myself here. It would literally remind me to even take my drugs, because the drug was messing me up badly and I didn't want to take it. So it would literally remind me, be on my neck to make sure I take my drugs. It was doing the cooking, doing the cleaning, literally doing everything in the house. And there are times I would just look at him with tears in my eyes and say, babe, thank you, God bless you for me. See, if you are going to get married, marry well, marry well, marry well. So yeah, that was basically it. I'm trying to remember if any other thing happened. The little times I threw up, I made me appreciate those that experience that all through, because I think there was a time I threw up, and maybe 2 times in a day, and I was just tired. That was like yeah, it happened once. And I know my trigger. I said trigger. I know my trigger. It's trigger now. I know my trigger. I know the things that can cause me to throw up. And it's not something that I really had to experience. And then the few times I experienced it, it made me appreciate, it made me salute those that have to experience that all through the very first trimester. No, it's just a lot. And women are doing a lot, women are going through a lot. Bump has not gone yet. I'm still trusting God for the bump to start bumping, but I'm not even in a rush. Like, take your time, baby. Take your time, take your precious time, okay? Yeah, so I did not talk about cravings. I had some really weird cravings. For me, I never liked swallow, right? It was never my thing. From the very beginning, I started craving pounded yam. I started craving pounded yam. In fact, I wanted us to pound and like make pounded yam, but my husband was just like, why now? So eventually I had to order. I was eating pounded yam a lot. At the point it was amala I was craving. At the point it was my mommy's food, and my mom actually like did a lot. She sent food. There was time I told her I was craving her food. She sent her stew, sent amala, sent begiri, sent efori roll, sent some raw foodstuffs, and she just sent food, and it was just like very hard. I was eating it and I was like, oh my god, like I've not eaten before. Those cravings, when they come, it's like if you don't eat it, as if the world will end. And then when you get to it, it's like, oh my god, it tastes like so much better than it normally would. So yeah, I've had cravings, especially with food. I've had like cravings. There are times I didn't want to eat rice, and that's like almost unbelievable for the kind of love I have for rice. Yeah. So yeah, I did have cravings. Cravings is real, but it's not that bad. I know maybe some women have it bad than some. How you wake up in the middle of the night and you won't party, right? I can't relate to that, right? It's not like I cannot control. It's just that sometimes I feel like some things would go better. I would be able to eat some things better than some things at that point. So yeah, sacrifice, things I've had to sacrifice. I've had to sacrifice my eating habits. I've had to try as much as possible to eat healthy, because this is me that I eat a lot of carbs. let me rephrase, I eat a lot of rice. Like I can eat rice morning, afternoon, night and not get tired. I've had to like intentionally incorporate some other meals just so I stay healthy, and I give my baby what is the best, right? So I've had to sacrifice that. I've had to sacrifice drinking normal water, room temperature water, because it got to a point I could not stand water. I had like serious water aversion. So the only water I could take, or I can still take, is cold water. I mean, yesterday I was literally chewing ice block. This is me that hated cold water. Like I wasn't the type. I just wanted something that was room temperature or just a little bit cold, but now I want it like super chilled. So that's like something that's really changed, and I still can't wrap my head around it. I still can't wrap my head around it. Yeah, so I've had to let go of that. What else? Eat a lot of fruits, which I normally would not do on a normal day. Something I've had to do. And yeah, I feel like I struggled in my walk with God a little at that early stage, because this is me that some of us don't know how to pray. Gentle prayer is something I'm learning now, something I'm trying to do. Like if I pray at a very slow tempo for like the first 15 minutes, it starts to like go high, and I'm praying with all my strength, and it's not something I can do. Like I literally pray for like few minutes and I'm out of breath. It's like I'm going to die. So praying was like something I had to like do. Like it was not the usual, praying the way I used to pray and all of that. And even to read my Bible was like a struggle, because I cannot even sit up and read Bible. Like it was just a struggle. So I had to just try, and sometimes I'll just listen to audio Bible. Most of the time I slip off in the process, but then I listen to audio Bible, I listen to messages and all of that. And yeah, I learned to not take it too hard, be too hard on myself. I'm glad I picked that up. I don't know where I picked it up from, but I picked it up early enough, and it really helped me not to stress over things I didn't have control over. And then one thing that has really helped me is the Flow app. Oh my god, Flow app has been really helpful. I can literally go there and get answers to questions and see people going through the same thing I'm going through, read from them, learn from their experiences. Though disclaimer, it can be a lot sometimes. Like sometimes you just have to be careful. Your heart needs to be guarded, because you can see a lot of things, TMI, people say, oh, I just had a miscarriage, I just did this, a lot of negative info. So if you're not careful, it can cause fear in your heart. So most of the time I just go there, get what I need to get. If it becomes too much for me, I just go off. And Flow itself provides information on what to eat, all of that. Flow is just very good. I really recommend. Like I started using it even before I got married. Like it's something I was using to track my period. It was just very helpful. It helped me, it helped even our conception and everything. And the good part is it is free. The premium version is free for Nigerians, at least for now, so you can get that. And yeah, it has really been helpful. I feel like at this point, if I don't stop this video now, I'm just going to keep talking, because I'm enjoying sharing this experience with you guys and just talking about it. So yeah, that brings me to the end of this video. If you have questions, you can put them in the comment section, and I'm going to answer them. If you have other contributions and things you need to add, please put them in the comment section. And yeah, I'll continue to vlog, I'll continue to give updates as much as I can. But if I'm not able to, I'm going to do another sit down video at the end of this trimester that we're in, where I give the updates. But now that I'm stronger, I'm able to vlog, so I'm going to be recording moments and all of that. So yeah, in a few weeks time, we're going to find out the journey of this baby, and I'm really excited. All right, I should stop this video because I'm rambling. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.